Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
The News at Noon program assembles the best and most interesting news from the area and content for its viewers and provides local weather for the Four Corners region. What do you think? Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. So what did we find in the news for June 15th, 2016? Let's take a look. Reported in the Durango Herald, consumers may be able to get locally made marijuana-infused products and purchase them later in the day if the Durango City Council acts on a list of proposed marijuana regulations. The council seemed open Tuesday to permitting marijuana-infused products manufacturing, extending the legal hours of marijuana shops, and allowing local businesses to test medical marijuana. Councilors seemed more hesitant to explore allowing grow facilities because of the space, electricity, and water they require. Laws to allow local businesses to test medical marijuana and marijuana shops to stay open until midnight could take effect by August 31st at the earliest, according to city documents. While the new testing permit will be one of the first changes, the wait could be tough on local businesses. The deadline for medical marijuana grows to begin to have their products tested is July 1st, and one local business is concerned he may lose business to facilities in Denver and Boulder who can apply now for local permits. While a state law in 2015 set July 1 as the deadline for medical marijuana testing, the state didn't pass a law allowing cities to issue permits for these businesses until late March. The Marijuana Enforcement Division within the Colorado Department of Revenue has considered pushing the July 1 deadline back, but no decision has been made, officials said this week. Planning manager Nicole Killian said while the city is creating a new permit, it also expects to extend the hours of local medical and retail marijuana shops from 8 p.m. to midnight to produce more sales tax and offer consumers an alternative to the black market. Plans to allow infused marijuana product manufacturing are far less concrete because councilors would like to ask the voters to levy an excise tax on the products before allowing the businesses to open. Any tax would likely be in the 1% to 2% range, so it would still be cheaper to manufacture products than to ship them in, LeBlanc said. Killian said this would help cover the costs of enforcing state regulations.
According to the Cortez Journal, Cortez Sanitation District board members on Monday postponed a decision on filling the district manager position until their meeting on July 11th, District Superintendent Phil Starks said. Previous manager Tim Krebs died May 20th at the age of 46. Krebs had worked as Cortez Sanitation District manager for 13 years. The board entered executive session to discuss the district manager position after Monday's public session, but decided to postpone a decision. Starks will serve as interim district manager until the board's July meeting. The board voted to hold a special meeting Monday, June 20th at 5:30 p.m. at the Sanitation District offices to discuss the 2015 district audit. Board members voted to table a vote on the audit until after that special meeting. Also Monday, the board approved a 10th payment to Red Point Contracting on the amount of $14,059 for work at the Paradise Village subdivision. Board member Jim Candelaria recused himself from the vote because his company, Candelaria Construction, is subcontracted on the project. The board also voted to vacate a sewer tap at 210 West Coronado Avenue, a property there previously had been two separate units, but had since been combined into one unit per the city's requirements, the property owner Karen Kristen said. Kristen also asked for a refund on sewer tap fees for one unit at the property, which had been unoccupied since August 2015. Kristen said city officials did not tell her she needed to combine the units at the property until about 3 months ago, so she requested reimbursement for the time in between. Candelaria said similar issues had previously come before the board. Issuing a refund would go against the sanitation district's bylaws and would not be fair to other district customers.
From the Cortez Journal, wary of city life in the Denver area, Simone and Renita Connie decided to move and open the Circle C RV campground on a scenic hillside just outside Dolores. The location is 15 acres at Colorado Highway 145 and County Road T. They renovated it into a 16-space RV park with hookups. The campground has a spacious lodge with a store, kitchen, and pool table. There are secluded tent sites, a summer cabin, and a vacation home also available to rent. The area is a convenient spot for an RV park, being a tourist or a worker looking for affordable housing. Renita also is a musician and instructor. She put in a music studio on site and offers lessons in flute, piano, guitar, and voice. The lessons cost $80 and include 4 half-hour sessions. The refurbished property has a campground feel with fire rings, a shower house, a store stocked with camping food, ice cream, and outdoor gear, and Western decor throughout. The 3-bedroom, 2-bath vacation home sleeps up to 10 people, has a hot tub, gazebo, commercial grill, and wheelchair ramps, and it's fully furnished and costing $195 per night. RV sites run at $38 per night, and monthly rates are available. A cabin rents for $55 a night, and tent sites go for $20. There will be a grand opening on June 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. Donnie Johnson will play, and there will be free hamburgers and hot dogs. Circle C RV is specifically located at 28,000 County Road T. For more information, call 970-239-1850 or visit circlecrv.com.
According to the Durango Herald, a San Diego woman who painted and drew on treasured natural rock formations at national parks across the West and shared her work on social media has pleaded guilty to defacing government property. 23-year-old Casey Knockett pleaded guilty Monday in a federal court in Fresno, California, to 7 misdemeanors for the fall 2014 painting spree at 7 national parks, including Yosemite in California and Zion in Utah. She also admitted to defacing rocks at Crater Lake National Park in Oregon and Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. Knockett used Instagram and Tumblr to document her graffiti-like work, which led to outrage on social media. She was sentenced to 2 years probation and 200 hours of community service. A later hearing will determine how much restitution she must pay.
From the Durango Herald, next up on our list of the Colorado Republican Senator primary candidates we've been covering is an article on Darrell Glenn, who shocked observers in April at the Republican State Convention when he blew past a crowded field to emerge as the only candidate to caucus onto the U.S. Senate primary ballot. From inside the Broadmoor World Arena in Colorado Springs, Glenn delivered a fiery speech that brought observers to their feet. When the results were tallied, he had garnered 70% of the delegate vote, widely surpassing State Senator Tim Neville of Littleton, thought to be the favorite at the convention, who earned just 18%. In the media box, several scratched their heads. How could this 50-year-old, relatively unknown, divorced El Paso County Commissioner have won the hearts and minds of grassroots Republicans over long-established candidates? Well, Glenn said, "We've been going to almost every county and talking to people and building that personal connection with people and giving them the ability to look me in the eye and ask tough questions." He made the June 28th primary, while other challengers struggled to find their way onto the ballot. 3 of his 5 opponents were plagued by court challenges and unflattering headlines, while Glenn was quietly traveling the state reaching voters. Glenn has received $45,462 in contributions through an upcoming filing with the Federal Election Commission is likely to reveal a higher number. In that time, Glenn has received endorsements from the powerful Senate Conservatives Fund, which challenges moderate Republicans, and former Alaska governor and conservative icon Sarah Palin. Still, he is up against some wealthy candidates who have contributed as much as $1.5 million to their own campaigns. Political observers question whether Glenn has the credentials needed to defeat incumbent Democrat Michael Bennet in November if he wins the primary. Republicans have had to steer more to the middle in U.S. Senate races, and Glenn vows never to do so. Acquaintances say Glenn has what it takes by drawing upon his strength as a powerlifting champion at the Air Force Academy. A retired Air Force officer who served more than 20 years, Glenn also holds a law degree and a master's degree in business administration. Glenn has run a law firm and several small businesses. Glenn believes his strong faith will propel him over the finish line. "I'm always reading the Bible," he said. "You have to have a platform and a vision that people can really rally behind. I can win."
According to the Durango Herald, on Wednesday, the La Plata Electric Association will consider a waiver that would allow the cooperative's main supplier, Tri-State Generation and Transmission Association, to take the lead on negotiating with outside energy developers. LPEA staff support the proposed waiver, saying it will streamline the process with developers because Tri-State has negotiating expertise without precluding LPEA from investing in local renewable energy projects. Without the waiver, it will take longer to get through the negotiation process, said Ron Meyer, LPEA Manager of Engineering and Member Relations. This doesn't change the economics of a qualified facility. To others, the proposal is a red flag whose origins trace to a situation in Montrose. With the emergence of renewable power sources in the midst of an energy crisis, Congress passed the Public Utility Regulatory Policies Act in 1978. The law said that a qualifying facility, often a local small renewable energy source, could offer power at special rates to spur competition in the industry. Last year, a local entity asked the Delta Montrose Electric Association to purchase hydropower from an irrigation canal, a project that meets the definition of a qualifying facility. Like LPEA, the Delta Montrose Association is contractually bound to purchase 95% of its power and transmission services from Tri-State, and the other 5% can come from projects owned or controlled by DMEA. The cooperative argued that investing in an outside source, in this case, the hydroelectric project, did not violate or count toward its 5% allowance. And now, here's our weather report.
The Weather Service has issued a red flag warning for today and a fire weather watch for tomorrow. Both these run from noon to 8 p.m. A red flag warning indicates that conditions make for a lot of wildfires and a high level of threat to life and property. In the event of a fire near you, you move quickly to safe areas. A watch suggests that you should watch and have enough lead time to set your plans in motion. That 8 p.m. time will match the drop-off of wind speeds to lower nighttime levels. Each day beginning Thursday and going through Sunday should see a slight drop in the highest speed of the winds for the day. So today will be the worst wind of the next 7 days. Today's high will be near 80. Winds are expected to vary from 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts up to 40. As expected, the humidity had already dropped to the lower teens as of beginning of the broadcast this morning, and will continue throughout the day into Thursday, and it's not going to rise for a while. So you'll need to keep after the water, and the reality is that plants, even when the ground is quite damp, can't process it fast enough in these windy, very low humidity conditions. So they'll be playing catch up during calmer nights. The same conditions are expected for tomorrow, just a few degrees hotter each day well into next week. As the high pressure center begins to react to the big fronts to the east and northwest, that will keep it in the Four Corners region. On Sunday, some moisture will rotate around the top of that high in the northwest Colorado and northeast Utah area. Precipitable water values in the atmosphere climbed almost 3/4 of an inch, but due to the dry lower atmosphere levels, some high clouds may result with maybe a few isolated storms over the high terrain, with gusty winds the primary concern, but that is also only northwest Colorado, northeast Utah, not here. Temperatures will continue to be hot with the high pressure center running the show through early next week. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will persist through the end of the week for the upper middle Mississippi Valley to the central Appalachians and mid-Atlantic. A low-moving front going across the Great Lakes today will reach the mid-Atlantic tomorrow. Storms ahead of that low have the potential to become severe across Wisconsin and the Ohio Valley today. These locations have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms and heavy rainfall and flash flooding. An excessive rainfall outlook has been issued for portions of Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia. The area of increased threat for severe storms will shift over the central Appalachians and surrounding areas tomorrow. Coastal areas in the mid-Atlantic continue to have an elevated risk for heavy rain. The rainfall amounts across the northern mid-Atlantic are forecast at 1 to 2 inches each day through Saturday morning, with localized higher amounts possible. Daytime heating with a moist and unstable air mass running ahead of those fronts will keep rain going along the southeast. Rainfall of 1 to 2 inches is expected there daily to the end of the work week. Light to moderate rain is forecast for the Pacific Northwest and the Intermountain West. Again, today's high will be near or just shy of 80, tomorrow in the mid-80s and climbing to the high 90s by Monday, and likely maintaining those temperatures through next week. Lows will begin in the lower 40s and climb into the mid-50s by Monday night, and by Monday's news time we'll have a good set of numbers for nighttime lows for next week. The days will be hot enough to make a night shift a little bit appealing. Now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Great Outdoors Colorado Board awarded a $43,500 grant to Montezuma Land Conservancy on Monday for the Land Trust's Community Conservation Initiative. The grant is from GOCO's Conservation Excellence Program, which provides a funding source for studies and pilot projects that improve best practices in land conservation. The Community Conservation Initiative will explore a new business model for land trusts and land conservation in Colorado. The traditional model relies on project fees from new conservation easements, which are the voluntary legal agreements between landowners and land trusts that place property under protection from development. The Montezuma Land Conservancy plans to embark on an effort to increase local awareness and education on land conservation in order to help ensure the organization's sustainability. It plans to create a white paper about the initiative to share with land trusts across Colorado. GOCO says it has invested $9.2 million in Montezuma County and has conserved more than 4,800 acres of land. GOCO funding has supported the Montezuma Land Conservancy's $6.7 million project to conserve land along the San Juan Skyway, in addition to a number of local outdoor recreation projects in Cortez, Dolores, Mancos, and nearby communities. Projects include Cortez's ball fields and municipal pool, Ron Kotarski Jr. Memorial Playground in Dolores, and Cottonwood Park in Mancos. Montezuma County was also recently named a GOCO Inspire community and will be part of a $25 million initiative to help kids get outside. Great Outdoors Colorado invests a portion of Colorado lottery proceeds to help preserve and enhance the state's parks, trails, wildlife, rivers, and open spaces. Its independent board awards competitive grants to local governments and land trusts and makes investments through Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Created when voters approved a constitutional amendment in 1992, GOCO has since funded more than 4,700 projects in urban and rural areas in all 64 counties without any tax dollar support. Visit GOCO.org for more information.
From the Cortez Journal, more than half of Utah's lakes and nearly half of its streams don't meet federal water quality standards. This according to a new report from the Utah Division of Water Quality. Metal levels are high on parts of the San Juan River, which was affected by a massive spill that sent 3 million gallons of acid mine waste from the Gold King mine in southwestern Colorado into rivers in Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. Walt Baker, director of the Utah Division of Water Quality, said the report released Monday found that 2 parts of the river near the Four Corners region are impaired for aquatic life due to the presence of heavy metals like aluminum, copper, lead, and zinc. But it's not yet clear whether the metals came directly from the August 5th spill. The area has been a center for mining for the past century, and the metal levels could be remnants of past mine waste. It's hard to tell because the state wasn't regularly collecting that data before the spill, Baker said. For now, the state is monitoring the spring runoff that's now coming down off the mountains and prepping to keep a close eye on fish habitats over the long haul. Also under the microscope in Monday's report was Utah Lake, which didn't meet water quality standards because of harmful algae blooms. Utah health officials sent out a warning about bright green algae in Utah Lake in 2014 when a dog died after it played in water tinged with the plant. Algae sometimes produced natural toxins, and the dog probably drank some water at Linden Marina about 45 minutes before it died, health authorities had said at the time. While the algal blooms at Lake Utah aren't always toxic, too much of the aquatic plant is a problem because when it decomposes, it can rob water of the oxygen that fish and other aquatic life need to survive. The blooms are fed by nutrients in the lake that can come from several places, including treated wastewater that's pumped into the lake and fertilizer runoff. The Division of Water Quality collects the data every 2 years and reports it to the EPA. The report released Monday is a draft, and the Division of Water Quality will take public comment on it for the next 60 days.
According to the Cortez Journal, nearly 2,000 music lovers met at Joe Rowell Park Saturday for the 13th annual Dolores River Festival after online ticket sales bumped up attendance. "We're back up to our usual numbers," said Scott Clow, president of Greater Dolores Action, the community organization that puts on the popular river celebration. "We sold 500 tickets online in the last 48 hours. A chilly rainstorm dampened attendance last year, but sunny skies and mid-80 temperatures this year warmed up festivarians as for the 11 bands that played on 2 stages. The small-town atmosphere, national and local bands, free raft rides, dog-friendly grounds, and large playground continued to make the family-friendly event a regional favorite. "I'm having a great time," said Sarah James, who drove up from Albuquerque with friends for the festival. "I've never been to one like this right on the river, and I'll be back next year." "The music has been really excellent," said her friend Alex Hinkle. Campers also had it better this year, with sites positioned in view of both stages so they could listen while lounging in chairs, microbuses, and under-tent structures. "We loved that we got in closer this year for the camping," said Kathy Wakeman of Durango. "The smaller stage with the local bands had a big, fun audience." Festival goers took advantage of the rivers, mountains, and trails surrounding Dolores, creating an It's All Happening summertime experience. "We mountain biked Boggy Draw, enjoyed a great music festival, and ran the Lower Dolores the day after. A wonderful time," Wakeman said. More than 200 people took advantage of the free raft rides, and 105 volunteers showed up, with many working the entire event. A 2-hour shift earned them a free ticket.
Here's some far-out news from earthsky.org. Tonight, June 15, 2016, if you look along the zodiac or the sun's annual path across the starry sky, you'll find the moon sandwiched between the red planet Mars and bright star Spica. Mars is much redder and brighter than Spica, which shines blue-white. As the moon makes its monthly rounds in front of the constellations of the zodiac, it swings near Spica regularly. Although sparkling blue-white Spica ranks as a first magnitude star, that is, one of our sky's brightest stars, it's no match for the ruddy planet Mars right now. We pass between Mars and the Sun on May 22nd, and Mars still shines brightly, some 12 times more brilliantly than Spica, which is the constellation Virgo's brightest star. Mars, in the meantime, is currently shining in front of the constellation Libra. Because Mars and all of the planets travel much more slowly than the moon does in front of the backdrop stars of the zodiac, look for the moon to catch up with Mars in a day or two and to couple up with the planet Saturn on or near June 18th. From all the technical calculations, you'll want to look for Mars to catch up with Saturn in the great race of the planets. Sure enough, it will lap Saturn in a few months, and these two worlds will stage a rather close conjunction on the sky's dome on August 25th, 2016.
And now the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of June 6th through June 12th. A telephone line was reported tied in town. This is a highly dangerous situation as many residents are relying on their telephone systems for emergencies. A suspicious individual was reported in the early morning hours by a town resident. A deputy investigated. A complaint from a town resident was made of a dog at large. The Dove Creek Animal Control Officer was notified. The sheriff and deputies responded to an early morning report made of 2 overdue kayakers. Samaritans rafted down the Dolores River and located the unharmed kayakers, who then awaited a later rafter to get them downriver. Another Samaritan was able to recover a kayak that was lodged on a river hazard. That's it for this week's roundup. Stay tuned next week for more updates.
And in today's High Country happenings, June 17th through the 19th at the La Plata County Fairgrounds in Durango, Four Corners Pet Expo is held each day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Four Corners Pet Expo is a true pet lover's experience with interactive events, demonstrations, and vendors with the latest pet products, toys, and food. Food and beer vendors will also be in attendance. Four Corners Expos helps nonprofit pet rescues from all over the Four Corners area. This year's Pet Expo will feature Dock Dogs, an international canine aquatic competition. For more details, go online to fourcornersexpos.com or call Cindy Fisher at 970-375-4599. The Cortez Cultural Center hosts free evening events that start at 7 p.m. at the historic Outdoor Plaza. Native American dances happen on Mondays with Samuel Kilsinsight, a Lakota Sioux, Wednesday with Reggie Lopez family of the Ute Mountain Ute, and Friday and Saturdays Norman and Ramona Roach of Lakota Sioux. Alternatively, every Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m., enjoy a celebration of the Western heritage of Montezuma County with cowboy music, also on the plaza and free. Thursday, June 16th, features local Tim Krebs Sr., and next week on June 21st, Lynn Bell Lewis will start at 6, followed by Donnie Johnson at 7. For the rest of the month, it will be Mark Baker on the 23rd, Tim Krebs on the 28th, and Ellis Miller on June 30th. And if you're trying to develop an orchard or lost a tree or two over the past years like I have, you might want to go to Road G and Highway 491 in Cortez from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, June 18th to buy a special local apple tree. Over 100 trees representing 51 varieties of locally handcrafted, rare, and desired varieties are available. Trees are priced at $50 except for the rediscovered Colorado orange apple, which sells for $100. Quantities are limited. It is part of the Montezuma Orchard Restoration Project. Online, visit montezumaorchard.org. All of the happenings segment is posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. If you have an event, you can email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get it on air.
Thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable Channel 5.
Tell a friend and watch the broadcast replayed on YouTube. Search DCTV News at Noon, and please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those who are working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.